I am here to give you the lowdown on an undetectable viral load.
Facts! A person who is living with HIV and who is receiving effective treatment
cannot transmit the virus to sexual partners.
U equals you.
U equals you.
U equals you.
Undetectable equals untransmittable.
U equals you. My body, my rights.
When I found out about U equals you, it changed my life. It allowed me to feel normal for the first time in 20-something years.
U equals you.
The first thing I wanted to do was shout it off the rooftops, right? I'm undetectable. I can't transmit the virus.
U equals you. U equals you. U equals you. U equals you. U equals you.
U equals you made me realize that I can really live again. But more importantly, I can love myself again.
Science, not stigma. Science, not stigma.
The science really does verify and validate U equals you.
We've reached a point today in 2019 that we know that if we treat a person who's infected with HIV and bring down the virus to below detectable level, not only do we save the life of that person, but we make it almost, in fact, impossible for that person to transmit.
This huge weight just lifts off your shoulder in terms of just dismantling stigma immediately. Not only this internalized stigma, which is profound for us living with HIV, but also that our partners don't have to be afraid of us.
I think the time for excuses are over. I think it's very, very clear that the risk is zero.
Today, DC becomes one of the first cities in the nation to support new HIV strategy called U equals you.
We got to end this epidemic somehow. And in order to do that, I'm going state to state, driving over 5,000 miles.
We need the undetectable is untransmittable or U is you message to become standard knowledge worldwide. It will save lives. It will reduce suicides and murders on trans sex workers especially.
U equals to you brings hope to so many of us. Listen to this and let it sink in. We are not disease vectors. We are human beings.
America, Africa, U equals you. Europe and Asia, U equals you. Australia, my people, U equals you.
The U equals U movement is now reaching nearly 100 countries. We're saying K equals K in Vietnam, B equals B in Turkey, I equals I in Spain and Portugal, N equals N in the Netherlands and Russia. We're playing U equals U songs in Uganda.
Science, stigma, no science. U equals U.
And we're dancing in the streets in New York City.
Undetectable, untransmittable. Undetectable, untransmittable. 6ヶ月以上ならリスクはないよ。You equals you. With you equals you, we can win. With you equals you, we can win. With you equals you, we can win. We need no car. Keep on fighting.
Love you. U equals you means hope to me. Hope for life, hope for love, hope for happiness. And it has changed my life immensely because I can share this message with others who feel lost, scared, or infectious. They too can feel that life is new to them again. Being able to know 100% that I can't transmit and be free from guilt that had lost me. U equals you has taught me to stand up and be a strong voice for those in the community, and be true to what I believe in, and speak for so many who can't. U equals U means eliminating the stigma for all of us. And I will continue to share this damn message as long as I can. U equals U means to me embracing who I am without worry and without how someone sees me. When I was diagnosed, I was in a dark place. But many of you wouldn't understand if you don't know my journey. If it wasn't for my physician who didn't tell me that I can have a baby, my 18-year-old daughter wouldn't be here today. So I say, U equals U is my life, but it is not only my life. It is everyone's life who is diagnosed with HIV. So I say, share this message of U equals U, and never let others put this damn fear on you.
Hello, good morning everyone. I am a Latino, gay, immigrant, born and raised in Argentina. I am a person living with HIV, and I'm very proud of all those titles. My name is Luciano Roberta. I'm a program director at the Latino Commission on AIDS in New York City. I have been living with HIV since August 2011. Since then, I have learned how to manage my HIV, and through this process, I have become empowered to help other people to manage their HIV as well. As an immigrant, navigating the system with this diagnosis at times felt overwhelming and challenging. But as resilient as I am, I was able to find the support that I needed from folks who were going through similar situations. Since then, this inspired me to become an advocate and support others Latinx in New York and around the country. In this short time, I have felt how the stigma associated with HIV feels like, but I have also learned how empowered and liberated U equals U makes me feel. The road to being undetectable has not been perfect. The stress, the depression related and associated with HIV stigma impacted not just my mental health, but also my adherence to HIV treatments and medical appointments to a level that I wasn't undetectable anymore. Since then, U equals U have become my goal as a person living with HIV. It helped me to reduce the stigma, to keep me healthy, to be part of the solution, and also to have an open conversation about HIV status with my sexual partners. I stand today undetectable and determined to share with others what has worked for me. Familia, I believe we have the tools to end HIV, but much information and education is needed to eradicate stigma and to achieve zero homophobia and zero transphobia in our communities. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi. My name is Mariah Wilberg. Many of you know me as Mariah Wesley on Facebook. I was diagnosed with HIV at the age of 19, following years of homelessness, survival sex, and trauma. I stayed with an abusive partner who weaponized my status against me out of a desperate fear that I was unlovable. He went to prison about a year after my diagnosis, and I fell apart. I didn't have a support system or mental health care. And we often talk about falling out of care in the field. Mine was a visceral rejection of care. I threw away my antiretrovirals, searching instead for the right combination of street drugs to suppress the virus. And unsurprisingly, that didn't work out for me, so I decided to go to prison for a while. And while I was there, I learned that my HIV had progressed to AIDS. I was 25 years old. So I knew I couldn't go on like that. I started to take my medications, and I decided to become public with my status. When I got out of prison, I became a volunteer HIV educator, which quickly turned into a career for me. And it was then that I found out I couldn't transmit HIV. And I did 3 things, right? I cried. This was the moment that years of stigma and shame and fear dissolved in an instant. It was the moment I truly accepted my status. Secondly, I got mad. Why didn't my healthcare provider tell me this life-changing information? And thirdly, and most importantly, I downloaded a dating app. So, so I remember going on dates with this folder of printed study results and the Swiss statement, because there was no website back then. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, confidence intervals are not exactly like the sexiest date night topic. But it did work out for me. I've been married to my husband, who chose science over stigma, since 2015. In 2016, I remember meeting Bruce at a conference, and I was so excited. Here was this guy sharing this knowledge with me, and it was exciting to find someone else who knew about it. And by the end of the conversation, we're like jumping up and down and shouting the names of the studies, HPTN 052. And so I got back to Minnesota really fired up, and I signed on my current org. And later that year, when I started at the Minnesota Department of Health, I was determined for us to sign on. So I don't know if you guys know this, but big government agencies are not exactly rushing to embrace paradigm shifts. So it took almost a year, but then we became the 3rd state to sign on. Thank you. U equals U has given me the opportunity to both develop and demonstrate my leadership. I've been featured in Pause magazine, and I was named as, yes, thank you, as one of the first 40 under 40 in public health leaders by the de Beaumont Foundation for my work with U equals U. And thank you. And this week is my first week in my new job as Minnesota's statewide HIV strategy and services coordinator, leading our statewide plan. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hola, mi nombre es Ariana Lin y soy la directora ejecutiva de una organización trans-led que educa y empodera a la mujer translatina y al hombre translatino en la Florida y en el Caribe. When Bruce Richman, the founder of the Prevention Access Campaign and the U Equal campaign, contacted me years ago as other amazing activists and few other HIV service organizations to have talking and the mission of the spreading the message of the U equal U across the globe to improve the life of the people living with HIV, dismantling the HIV stigma, and advocate for universal access. Immediately I say, yes, I am with you, Bruce. Because as a proud trans Latina transgender who living in the South and undetectable for many years, I truly believe in U equal U o indetectable es intransmisible en la versión en español. Is the best tool to educate and create awareness to the transgender care and the HIV arena. The most amazing tool to break the stigma of the transgender living with the HIV, and also empower me and the MIPA, meaningful empower of people living with HIV, especially in the South and Puerto Rico, where the HIV is impressed. Thank you to the organizations like the Well Project, BIP, and Trans-Latina Coalition to help me to spread the message in many cities of United States and Puerto Rico.
not just financially, but with other tools to educate others. I traveled to many cities this year, and I see the reality of the trans sister and trans brother. Maybe you know the numbers. I know the histories behind those numbers. Feel the needs and hungry to know more to make this campaign more visible. You equal you needs to be the goal of the transgender and the HIV care. For that reason, I invite to you, here is a few ways to impact your life, your community, or your work and beyond. Get involved, easy, join the Well Project. Join Ariana Center, or join other many agencies who they support You Equal You. Offer and accept help. Be more than follower. Create data. Find ways to spread history of the people of the organization who doing the good things. Be meaningful involvement in your health and your doctor provider, and get care and correctly adherence with your medication to be undetectable. And the most important, learn to read your labs and create friendships with doctors and nurses if they are correctly cultural competence. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias.
I am Aline King Carter from Shreveport, Louisiana. I was diagnosed in 2008. I've been undetectable since 2009. I was one of the original members of the U Equals U steering committee. Okay, we're talking about what U Equals U means to me. When I was first diagnosed, I thought it was a death sentence. I thought no one could love me. I had to quit my job. I was always told it was always a chance that I could spread the virus, even if I was on medication, and I could still transmit the virus. So I quit my job. I was in despair and really believed what the doctors were telling me because I thought they knew what they were talking about. Later on, when I found out about the U Equals U message, it gave me encouragement to go on and do what I needed to do for myself, to stay on my meds. I know that I could not hurt anyone. I think it's a great disservice that people do not educate themselves on U Equals U. I think it's a great disservice that healthcare providers do to us, people living with HIV, thinking that we're too stupid to handle information, thinking that just because we might stop taking our meds and become transmittable again. I think that's crazy. Even if I choose to do that, I still deserve, as a person, as a human, all information that should be provided to me about my body. I have the right to the truth, to accurate information. And what I choose to do with that information is my right. So that's why I continue to tell the U Equals U message, and I continue to spread the U Equals U message. Thank you.
U Equals U is more than just a scientific term. It's sexy, it's innovative, and above all, it's empowering. The term in the campaign U Equals U has ignited more conversations around where we started at the beginning of the epidemic, and it is playing a vital role in the momentum that we're picking up as we're nearing the end of this epidemic. When I tested positive 5 years ago at the age of 19, I felt disgusted. I felt nasty. At least that's what I was told. My status made me stick around in a relationship that I should have gotten out of immediately, but because of the person that I was with, that's where I felt that I belonged. And then there was a term that came along that got coined that we know as undetectable equals untransmittable. And as I began to do my research and find out more about U equals U, I realized that I am not all those things. That I am still somebody who is deserving of love, respect, and everything that every other human is entitled to. I realized that I can love who I want, fuck who I want, and still do whatever it is that makes me happy. U equals U has made dating easier. It's helped with educating others. And overall, U equals U is helping to fight stigma every single day. As we begin to have more conversations around what U equals U means, I want everybody in here to think to yourselves, how has undetectable equals untransmittable helped shape your life or your work in some shape, form, or fashion? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, she, her, hers, he, him, his, they, them, theirs, and every person that identifies as a bad bitch. My name is DeAndre Moore, and on behalf of the Prevention Access Campaign, NMAC, and the U equals U Steering Committee, allow me to introduce you and to welcome you to the 2019 U equals U celebration. Before we begin a transition, I need everybody to stand on your feet and give a round of applause to these amazing ambassadors who have shared their experiences with us today. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. I love you.